All right, welcome everybody to episode number 9 of Comeback Conversations. I am with my man through Zoom, virtually with my man Trenton Davis. I'm fucking excited for this one. This one's been one that I wanted to make happen for a couple of weeks. Schedule's finally lined up, and here we go, ready to fucking get this thing done. You guys are gonna watch this thing, down the road on a replay. You may not know Trenton. Trenton does his thing. Every time I hear Trenton talk, and we're gonna get him on to introduce in a second, it's fucking gold. Like the depth, the wisdom, like the pursuit of self-mastery that I hear when I hear Trenton, it blows me away. So I'm super fucking honored to have him on this thing. Trenton, what's going on, man? Introduce yourself. Let some of these dudes know who you are, what you're about.
How do you follow that? First of all, I appreciate it. Seriously, thank you for having me on. This is, I've been a part of IAMACOMEBACK since January 31st, really, since the beginning of the year, and the impact that it's had on my life is immeasurable. That's the reality. And so any wisdom or anything that you hear, as you are directly a part of that and a piece of that, and I can't say I thank you and I appreciate you enough. And I say you, I'm talking about you and the entire IAMACOMEBACK family. I cannot thank you enough. So I appreciate it, man.
Dude, I'm humbled every time I hear that kind of shit. It's beautiful, like what we do. And you said like the comeback, like family, like it's really is a family, dude, and it is like a fucking family of choice. We're all here because we fucking want to be. Nobody's ordered here. We're not just have the same last name. I got to go see this guy on his birthday. Like we're here by choice, and that's what I like. It just drives me. It's exciting. Like I get to talk to dudes that are like me, right? And I don't really have any friends, but like outside of like this comeback universe, like, dude, nobody's like us. Like we're really different cats. And when we get on conversations like this, we get on the group calls, like the ability to, we're singing the same song, dude. We're talking goals, we're talking growth, development, how do I improve? And it is really a collection, a mastermind, or whatever you want to use, but like family. So Trenton, before you started, man, what was your life like? So talk a little bit about, these moments, I guess, leading up, holidays, right? What was Christmas like? Where were you emotionally like? Because guys are going to see this thing and be like, holy shit, this dude's a fucking rock star. Life is good. It's all smooth. What was it like before you got in, before you clicked the link? Where were you feeling? What was your emotional state, I guess? What was going on with you?
Yeah, man, that's a fantastic question. So I'll from an emotional perspective, what I'll say is this is probably resonate for everybody. From an emotional perspective, it had to be low enough, and that's not a bad thing, but it had to be low enough to make me click on that link. And by the way, like most people, you click on the link 2 or 3, 4 times, even months, maybe even 2 years before you say, all right, I'm gonna make a call. All right, I'm gonna have a conversation. And so it had to be a space of that. I would say, this is the thing. I think a lot of people think that, my life is horrible. You hit rock bottom. That's the term we hear when you talk about alcohol, rock bottom, and then you turn around and fix it. What that does, though, is for all the people that are living in the middle that haven't had rock bottom, it gives them an excuse to, I don't have a problem yet. And so I'm here to talk to them, which is I actually wasn't at rock bottom. I got a new job, and I am in a healthy relationship. I wasn't in rock bottom, where I was saying, to me, it's worse than rock bottom, because rock bottom, you need to change. I was in the middle fucking mediocre. The middle mediocre is, to me, it's the worst, because that group, I would say, is 70% of the population doesn't know they need to change. If I'm doing crack every day, it's not hard to know I need to change.
It's pretty obvious you're on the wrong track.
Obvious, yeah. Right? It's pretty obvious. It's the person like me that's got that 9 to 5, that's making good money, and nobody sees that I'm drinking every night. No, I say nobody but the wife, or nobody but your kids. So nobody really feels it except for the people that matter, which that's all that matters, right? And so that's where I was. I was in that middle mediocre for probably 10 years. I was drinking a minimum of a 6-pack a day and having 5 Black and Milds for a minimum of 10 years. I had one stint where I went about, 6 months without it. And that was grinding my, white knuckling it as every day. But everything outside of that was, I would get hotel, I'd travel for work. I'd make sure I could get a hotel where I had a balcony where I could sit out there and drink and smoke. Everything revolved around being able to drink and smoke. But if you would have asked me, I'd be like, I don't have no problem. I'm good. Everything revolved around that, right? Every party that I decided to go to, every blah, blah, blah club, does the club have a smoking section or just blah, 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 every single thing. And so if anybody's listening, I would say if you're the middle mediocre, that's the scariest place to be because you don't know you need to change.
Dude, that is like, I've never heard it put that way, and it's fucking beautiful because when you think of that, like that's where the lies and the justifications would constantly come in, dude. And I make these bullshit fucking comparisons to the guy on crack, right? And be like, that guy's got a fucking problem, man. I'm good. I got a paycheck. I go on vacations. I bought my kids shit. Like, dude, that guy's a disaster. I'm fine. And what that really was for me was like, I'm the tallest fucking midget, right? Like I outran a kid in a fucking wheelchair. Now I think I'm Usain Bolt and can go get a gold medal. Like these justifications in that place of just kind of jerking yourself off. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Well, fuck no, it's not that bad. Is it as good as it could be? Like, don't fucking ask that question. Like, I don't want to talk about that. Like, I know the answer to that question. When you in that spot, right? Call it, whatever it was, 10 years. Like, did you have people come up and be like, dude, are you okay? Like, you fucking sit on the balcony. like, what's going on with you, man? Like, because, we think nobody notices. And like, I like to tell myself nobody fucking knew anything. But I mean, the reality was like, I was getting close to these little dings of like just getting away with it or just like pulling myself out of something. One step ahead, don't get caught, don't get caught. And there were pockets where I got, dude, what's up? Like, did you get any of those?
Yeah, I think and what we're saying is kind of the subtle wake up calls. We're like, oh, maybe it's a thing. People are noticing it. I remember being at a comedy club and I would go there pretty often because I knew if I'm at the comedy club, I can drink for free. So I can drink for free. And this particular club had an outdoor patio. So I'd go every night, wouldn't even be inside. And a guy asked me, he said, man, you don't like being at home, do you? It's worse than I think, man, And then when me and my daughter's mother split up, which was needed. That was a good thing. But anyway, when we split up, I remember going to court and I remember her putting in there that she wanted me to have to take a breathalyzer before every visit. Was like, man, that's some bullshit. But that woke me up, right? Because then it was like, okay, she feels like I have a problem. The court feels like I have a problem. And so now I got to do this breathalyzer. And I remember still drinking. And saying, okay, I got to stop drinking by 12 p.m. so my breathalyzer is clear by tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. or whenever I'm picking my daughter. And so literally I was calculating how late I could drink in order to still blow a 0.0 the next day. That's when I'm like, man, something's going on. You got to change, right? And so my ex and I have a good relationship now. I believe 98% of that is due to not drinking. I really do. Being able to now go, and I don't even care. You can breathalyze me at 2 a.m, 4 a.m, 11 a.m. Doesn't even matter. Give it to me. And it's got to a point now where it's so good, she doesn't even ask for it. I don't know when the last time I broke because she can see it in my eyes, in my speech, in my breath, in my pores. She can see everything that, in this case, I'm not doing, and it's beautiful.
Well, she can, I'm sure, see like the energy, dude. Like you got vibes, man. You got like this fucking presence of like a guy who like you don't fucking waste time. Like I don't have time for bullshit like in your life, and that's like you've created that. I think of like the balconies and the work trips. Like I used to go on so many work trips, and this is where in my mind I started feeling like exposed. Random Tuesday, Wednesday, middle of the week, and as soon as we get done with whatever work, like we're head right to a bar. We're gonna have dinner. Guys are casually ordering like a beer or whatever, a Diet Coke. Like I'm like double bourbon fucking neat. And guys are like, wow, this fucking guy's ready to go. And I'm banging these things down on a Tuesday. And I like the next morning I get up, we go work, we do all the shit. And I'm like, dude, they're gonna get onto me at a certain point because if I don't drink very fucking a lot, very regularly, I'd have a hangover tab, be sick. Like I'm showing these guys like how much I can drink with seemingly no fucking effect. Dude, this guy must practice, right? This don't happen on a Tuesday, random shit. Like this guy must rehearse this like very, very often. And then in my head it becomes like, holy shit, they know. Fuck. Let me just drink in my hotel room, come down, say hi, go back. Like I'm buying bottles and keeping them in the room. Like it just, so much fucking work to like cover this thing up. Like what a waste.
I could not agree with you. I love the way you put it. So much work covering this thing up. That is the truth. That is the truth. And that's really what we've been doing. I love it, how you put it. I love how Mark puts it. That's what we've been doing the whole time what the drinking was anyway. It was covering up our shit. It's covering up our pain, covering up our fear, right? Our limiting beliefs, all that deep pain that everybody has from childhood or whatever. It's covering that up. And we use alcohol to do it, right? Use alcohol to feel like I'm the coolest guy in the room, I'm the smartest guy in the room, whatever. And but yeah, eventually it comes down to I'm tired of living the lie, right? And actually, you said something just now. I wasn't my best self. I wasn't nowhere near it. I think about Trenton now versus Trenton 9 months ago. And if I met him either on the basketball court, in the comedy club, or in a boardroom for my day job, the Trenton now would kill me because I'm awake at 5 a.m. I'm ready. The Trenton 9 months ago, if the meeting was at 8 o'clock, I was waking up at 7:40. Right, 7 foot just to know blah 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 whatever. Spray get some Listerine and move. The Trenton now is up at 5 a.m. I've already done my meditation, affirmation, visualization. I rode my bike to the gym, hit the gym. By 8 o'clock, I've already been up 3 hours. Let's get it, right? And so that's what it is. I love the idea of trying to be our best fucking self. If we'll be here, I don't want to be mediocre. I do not want to put on my grave, here lies Trenton, he was mediocre. He had a mediocre life. Right, you got a life that looks like khakis and minivans. Fuck that, right?
Fucking average, man. Like that's a great way to put it. It was like fucking average, dude. I would look around and, dude, I'm fit in with these guys. I'm just like these guys. Like that's average as shit. Like why the fuck would you want to think of like that fitting in? Like I really need to fit in with these guys. Like I want to fit in with fucking millionaires. I want to fit in with like fucking CEOs. I want to fit in with guys who like write books and fucking change the world and run fucking companies. Like yeah, I would. I like these guys. I used to really enjoy fitting in with fucking average, dude. It's a fucking funny way to look at it.
It's so true. I literally was just reading this morning, and it was reading the spiritual book. Anyway, the guy was talking about as you continue to grow, you'll have less and less friends. And it's not that we think we're better. We realize how valuable time is and how valuable our life is that we will not want to spend it just kicking it, drinking for 3 or 4 hours. And it's interesting. People think. I'm going to use Puffy as an example. People think Milk or Jay-Z that are billionaires, they spend every day buying bottles and messing with females. And it's the exact opposite, right? Those people maybe get to go out 3 times a year, maybe, right? But you look at the average Joe, myself included at that time, the average Joe was going out every weekend.
He's out every fucking night, yeah. Yep.
Every day, right? It's like, if you got that much time, you ain't doing shit with your life. That's real. That's real talk. If you go out every day, you ain't doing shit with your life, period. Yep. Right? You cannot do it.
Dude, so, I mean, it's funny, like, when you click the link because you think you have, like, an alcohol problem, right? That's like, fucking pretty obvious, drinks need to be solved. Like, underneath that, and you start to realize, like, for me, it was like a laziness problem. It was a fucking lack of standards problem. It was a, just fucking on board. Like, in my head, like, I'm bored. I better drink. I have nothing else to do. Like, when you get into this thing and start to unpeel all the shit, like, what was it like for you, like, super early on? You first meet, we have the first call, and you're like, fuck, what is this shit about? Like, this fucking guy swearing all the time. Like when you first, you click the link, you made the choice, you commit, and then you get inside of this fucking universe. Like, what was going through your head at that point, man?
Man, that's such a good question. And I'm gonna be 100% all the way real. And so my first call was with Rich. Rich was at the time, when I say buttoned up, he was first call. Hi, friend, how are you? How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And then I have a call with you, like maybe a week later, me and you have our first call. And it was this, man. It was, what's up, motherfucker? And I was like, oh shit, okay, this is what I'm talking about. And then, and I want to change this, not me personally, but hopefully as a group, I want to change it. It's not a ton of diversity. It's not I take that back because it is a good number of Latino people in the car. It's not a ton of Black people. Let's just call it what it is. And so I remember saying, man, where do I fit in? But this was the key. This was, for me, just blew my mind. Is we're all going through what I call this metamorphosis of actually doing the fucking work. I don't want to oversimplify, but that's what it is. It's giving your life purpose by doing these 7 fucking things every day. That's it. Somebody said a long time ago, discipline is not hard. Discipline is doing that same one thing over and over. It's not like you got to build a fucking rocket. No, it's wake up at 5. It's fucking meditate, blah, blah, blah. And so I remember being in it. And I remember on the front end thinking, oh, once I stop drinking, I'm going to be perfect. That's how fucking stupid I was. I didn't even know I had all this other shit. I was like, once I finish drinking, man, I got drinking. I'm gonna be a perfect guy, perfect catch. And then I stopped for 3 months, right? And then now we're into the work, and I'm like, oh. And I tell my girl, this shit is harder than the drinking, you know? When you facing yourself in the mirror and looking at your own bullshit, let's call it what it is, looking at your own excuses, and me was chasing fucking women and lying to fucking women. And I love being able to not have my phone locked around my girl. And I ain't had that shit in 20 years. I'm like, it's unlocked. I don't even need a code. Go through it. I'm good. And so to answer your question very succinctly, it was scary in the beginning. I wondered if I fit in. Then I see it's deeper than skin tone. It's all about who we are in the heart and what we're all wanting to be. And people, I don't give a fuck if we Latino, black, white, green, yellow. All of us are trying to be the best version of ourselves. That's what all of this is about, is how do you show up and be the best husband, be the best father, be the best spouse, be the best businessman, the best comedian, and then share that with the world. And that makes us brothers. Doesn't matter what color we are. That makes us brothers. It makes us linked up in this fucking battle that we call life. So that's how.
It's so fucking well said, dude, because like I talk to fucking winners only. I don't give a fuck if you're fucking in a wheelchair, if you're black, if you're gay. Like, I literally don't give a fuck. If you're not a winner, I'm all set, dude. You could look like me. I have like fucking family members. We have the same last name. We don't have much to talk about. Like we're literally like of the same, genes and shit. Like, we got a lot in common that way. But mentally up here, we don't have shit fucking on to, there's nothing else going on. It's fucking winners only, dude. And it's really about that pursuit of the best version of yourself. And you nailed it, man. The first couple of weeks, couple months for some guys, when you get that drinking fucking solved, like, that was the biggest fucking mountain that I thought I'd ever climb. Now I got to the top of it, and then I realized, dude, there's so much. Now it's time to fucking work. Now it's time to look in a fucking mirror, dude. Nah, man, fuck that guy. I don't want to do that. Like, that's uncomfortable. Then you got to start unpacking the shit. Like, dude, the lies, the fucking guilt, the shame, the anger, the shots I took, the shots I didn't take. Like, and now that's a fucking burden of stuff, right? That's like a backpack. And that's fun now. Like, it's a better, it hurts. It's fucking gross. But like, that's where you find the fucking freedom, dude. Inside of the calls, the group phone calls, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, what are you, early on, like, fucking, where was your head at? Like, just, holy fuck, dude, there's 80 dudes on here that, like, what the fuck do I belong? Do I fit? Should I speak? Should I not? Talk about, like, the first time you talked on one of those.
Yeah, man. And I would even say, even for me right now, people think, oh, he's a comedian, he's in front of people all the time, so it's no fear. It was fear on the first call, and there's even fear right now when I jump on a call, and even if I raise my hand, there's fear. And I think that's a good thing, because that means I fucking care. It really does. And when I come up and I'm going to say something, I know that somebody's listening that is just getting sober for their first day. And so it's important that in my mind, what I say leaves a positive impact, right? And so those calls to me are golden, right? I don't get to get as many as I used to just because of work. When I jump on it, but every time, because I still got it on my phone, and it still pops on, like, oh, I'm getting on it today. And every single time I receive something, and so this is how I look at it. Every single time I receive something, so the question is, okay, Trenton, you can't just be receiving, take. That's in life, that's in a relationship, that's in everything. So now what can I give, right? And almost, maybe not, I'd say every third call for me, I'll hear something, I'll hear someone ask a question. And last one, somebody said, how do I find my purpose? And I said, ding, 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 that's where I can step in and help out, man. So that's what the calls do, is they provide support. And then if you're really doing the work, they provide a place for you to then support others. Because that's what it's all about. I said this on the call, and I'll say this now just for anybody recording. Our passion is God's gift to us. It's what we love to do. It's very selfish, and that's okay. You get to be selfish. But our purpose is how we help others using our passion. So our passion is selfish. Our purpose is selfless. And it's all about giving. It's all about, and that's what you do, man. You're giving to other people to help men become better. And as a result, families become better, communities become better, and fucking worlds become better. People don't want to hear that. They feel like you're being arrogant when we say it. We are changing the world. That is fact. We are changing the world, right? We get 20,000 people that have stopped drinking and are changing and being better. Now we have 20,000 families. Multiply that times 5. Now multiply that times all the ripples in the universe. We are changing the fucking world.
Trenton, that's when I get out of bed every single day, because, dude, life hits, dude. I'm not a fucking robot. Like, I got shit, right? Like everybody. I just do. Like, what drives me is that fucking ripple effect. What drives me is knowing that your daughter, who I want you to talk about shortly, but like your daughter has a fucking dad that is pouring fucking love and energy. Your daughter has a template of what it means to be a man, and that's who she's gonna seek and marry, right? And then they're gonna have a family, and that ripple effect, the fucking cascade of your choices, your changes, like it literally does change the fucking world. Like my kids, like their friends will be like, "Oh, what does your dad do?" Like my kids tell them, my dad's a comeback. He's changing the world. Like this fucking 8-year-old kid like thinks his dad, and he is, and he's telling his peers like, my dad changes the world every day. Like, wow, it's fucking badass, man. Like, it's pressure, but like pressure is a fucking privilege. Guys that are dead have no pressure. Like, I'm all set with that.
Bro, I could not agree more. So my daughter and I, for people who listen, my daughter's 10. And we're in Oregon this past weekend visiting my girlfriend. Anyway, we had a conversation about something bigger that happened. And then the next day I said, "Hey, babe, I just want to revisit this conversation." And I said to her, now, just because we have this conversation and maybe something is not great, I said, it doesn't mean I don't love you. I said, I'll never stop loving you. And her response was, "Duh, Dad, I know." And that's what I want. I want her to know that I never stopped loving her. And see, what alcohol would do in the past was rob us from having that time and that connection. Because if it's alcohol in the past, either A, when I talked to her about something in the first place, I probably lashed out, or B, I wasn't even present to notice it, right? Then C, I'd be so hungover the next day, same thing. I wasn't present enough to have the conversation. And what being sober allows us to do is live this thing called life. Not skate through it, not numb out, live it and be there. And that is, I would contend, 75% of parenting is just being fucking present. But it's not just present in body, present in mind and spirit. And alcohol, it's interesting they call it spirits, it robs your spirit, right? It robs you of being fucking present. And my girl even said it. She said, I like the way we make love sober. I like the way we connect sober. It changes everything about our life, inside and out. And so, yeah, the comeback again has changed my life, and it will forever be a part of my life. Forever, no matter what, it'll forever be a part of my life.
I think so much about the word connection. For me, my wife, my kids, like it is a feeling of fucking connection. Like there's like a purity to it. Like there's a inextricable like bond, right? That we feel now. And when you think of, as you're talking, man, I'm thinking about my daughter, dude. She's the same age, or 11. She would, if she listens to this, she would really fucking specifically correct me. She's exactly 11 and a half, like give or take a day. But like I didn't create the kind of arrangement, relationship, the vibe where she could feel like she could talk to me about certain shit. Like as you're saying that, like, the presence and stuff, I did lash out a lot. Like I was an asshole. Like I wasn't, I'm not like a abusive dad or anything. I used to think I was pretty good. But I didn't sow like a fertile ground of like conversation and let's talk about this and let's dig into that. I kept my conversations a lot of times fucking brief so I could get the fuck out of there and go on to what I wanted to do. Go sit in that basement, man. I don't really have time to tend to this shit right now. And then the mindset of like, dude, she can be here forever in this point. Like I could just do this shit tomorrow. I can just do this shit tomorrow. The sense of urgency that's created, like when you pull your head out of your fucking ass, like the intentionality that you start spending your time. You said earlier, like it's the most important thing I can't replace it. When you're in your relationship, like what's changed? I guess what's changed in your relationship?
Yeah, man, you just used the word that, in my opinion, we could talk about for the next hour if we wanted to, which is intentionality. Intentional. And so here's what happens. We drink and we're intentionally drinking, but what we're also doing is intentionally numbing out and not doing anything else intentionally. We're not doing anything else. Everything else just comes. And then we get sober, and now everything is intentional. To your point, every interaction with my daughter, every conversation, same with my girlfriend, same with work. Right when I go to the day, I'm intentional. It's this laser focus of saying I'm bringing the prepared best person I can to whatever situation. Right? I didn't create this, but I love it. The 7 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance, and I stick to it every fucking day, right? But how can I be properly prepared if I'm drinking? If I'm fucked up on the couch the night before? You know what I'm saying? I think about when I look at a prize fighter, Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali, and these guys, you know, a big fight's coming up, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna stop drinking for 9 months. Nobody ever thinks, why? Why are they doing it? Because they're trying to bring the best fucking self. And this is then the difference between maybe Mike Tyson and a guy that got knocked out is an inch. It's a fucking inch, right? It's a miss and a boom I hit, right? It's an inch. Right now, same with us. The difference between making this impact with our daughter that she remembers is positive 20 years from now, 50 years from now, we're in the grave and she says, I had the best fucking dad. Dave was perfect. The difference is a fucking inch. The difference is, did I have that drink or 5 drinks last night and not? And then last, I want to say this because I'm talking about that inch, is compounding, right? And it's the truth. And I don't want to throw people off. It's not the one drink that kills you. It's the drinks times 10 years, right? And people, if you're listening to this is one of the ways you can lie to yourself. You can do, oh, I just drink on the weekend. Okay, now you're drinking, let's say 3 days a week. Now compound it times 10 years. It compound can either work for you or against you. And using it for you, what happens now when you got 10 years of clarity and no alcohol? That fucking Dave is a different person, even than the Dave that maybe stopped drinking a year ago. They're two different people because of compounding interest, because of that fucking intention. You've been focused on something for 10 years, family, family F, it changes everything. It changes everything.
Compounding interest, dude, going both ways is like, I mean, it's fucking gold, brother. Like, it absolutely is. And it's like, you know, you get into this shit and it's so fucking day to day sometimes. Like, guys will get on and be like, nah, it's boring doing the same shit every day. Like, yeah, it fucking works. But we don't think it's boring every day drinking fucking 6 beers and 5. Like, that's not boring, right? It's literally the same fucking shit. Do the same thing every night, same process. Sit down for me, pour my drink, fucking, you know, whatever, scroll through Netflix, play with my fucking phone. I thought that was the most exciting shit on earth. But then it's time to get up early and like write the same goals over and over. And I'm, this is fucking boring, dude. Like, I need some excitement, like sitting in a fucking basement by myself.
And to me, it's not boring, definitely anymore, because what I'm learning every fucking day about me. I just wrote this morning, sit in it and just be, don't resist, right? I very personal story, man. And if anybody's listening to this, I promise you, I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to say rah rah the man. But I had women, right, for the last 10 years. And my thing was, I wanted pictures, video. Send me a picture, send me a video. And I got catalogs of chicks I've been with. And I'm doing my process. Haven't had a drink since January or December. December 26th is the actual day. And I'm fucking working on it. And all of a sudden, I don't know, a month ago, the universe told me, you need to get rid of your catalog. You're holding on to the past. You're trying to move forward, but you're holding on to the fucking past, right? I'm telling you, Dave, for a month, I was like, fuck that. I ain't no way, no how. I'm in a relationship. I'm in a healthy relationship. I was like, I don't even look at it, but I'm not deleting it. What are you crazy? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And finally, I'm writing and I'm doing all this every day. And it came to me and it said, you're not surrendering. And until you truly surrender, you're not going to get to that next level because we want to be our best self. We don't want to be mediocre. And the universe is telling me that. Our inner self is telling me that. And so I finally, last Tuesday, I woke up 6 a.m. and I'm like, all right, I'm done. And I deleted every single one I ever had, every single one. And it was the hardest pushing the delete button ever. Here we are a week later. It's not even a thing. I'm like, I don't even care, right? It's not even a thing. And so I think when people say it's boring if you're not putting in the work. But when you're putting in the work, every day you find something new. Until you fucking dead or in Jesus Christ, every day you find something fucking new. Every day. And I'm a long way from Jesus Christ.
Dude, 3 years into my own comeback, brother, I'm still like finding shit like that I lie to myself about, right? The lie doesn't have to do with, what fucking shit liquid in a cup, like, but, am I putting my best in there, right? Am I balancing? And we talk balance in a different way in here, but like, am I like maximizing the way that I like to tell myself I am? Like, am I as intentional as I can be? Can I do better at this? Should I deploy my energy in this or that? Like, dude, this is right. This is, am I lying to myself? And that's like this continual process of like personal development, self-improvement. It's never done. Like, you go fuck off somewhere, I guess it's done. But like, why would you want to do that? like through this process, like sticking around this work, like take these 7Fs, dude, and like, it creates for me still all these different like spider webs of like, rabbit holes of like where I could go down this and go down that. And then I'd sometimes get into something and I'm like, dude, you don't want to do that. Like you're putting too much into that now and you're coming off of this. Like, all right, you step back, rebalance, reprioritize. Like when for me, like when I fell in love with like the process, like that's where like shit just fucking exploded. All good for me at that point. Like, talk about your process. Like, what's your morning routine? And you mentioned it a little, but like, what's your process every day?
Yeah, I love what you said. I'm gonna talk about it, but I love what you said, and I cannot stress that enough for anybody who's listening. Fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the journey. As winners, we tend to only want to think about the winning, but the truth is, and I know this is cliche, the winning is the journey. That's where all the fucking winning is. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, any of these people, Dave Beckham. The winning was the practice. The winning was the spending 10,000 hours on this one fucking fadeaway shot. That was the winning, right? The actual championship was just what happened because of that. So mine is the 7Fs is 100% in it. It's what I call savers, and I read a book called Miracle Morning, and it's savers, and it's the exact same thing. Savers is an acronym for silence, affirmation, visualization, exercise, read, and the last S is scribe or write. So savers every fucking day. Right now, I'll be honest, mine may change the order. When my girlfriend's in town, we'll do the meditation first, and then I work out second. When she's not in town, I work out first, and then I come back and do it second. But it's the same thing every day. And it's funny, it's because at one point I was trying to do it, and I could do it in an hour. Now it's going to 2 hours. Now it's like 2.5, 3 hours. And I'm like, what? Where is going on with my time? So it went from waking up at 5 to now it's 4:40. But that process, to your point, if you fall in love with it, the reason you're wanting to do more and more is because you see it. You see it, right? You see how it impacts. Again, I know we're repeating ourselves. Impacts me as a father, impacts me as a boyfriend, impacts me as a leader at the company, right? As an employee, as a manager. It impacts every part of my being. Just last night, I was playing basketball. 2 weeks before, I yelled at this dude and made him feel bad. And I go last night and say, hey, man, I apologize. That's not the me I want to be. And I'm telling you, 9 months ago, I wouldn't have gave a shit. I'm like, we playing ball. We're men.
Fuck that guy.
You go take this goddamn L. Last night, I'm like, and I apologize in front of the team so they can see it, right? And so we want to be the best we can be. And that process is that. The process is the winning.
I love talking about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady. And I'm like obsessed with like those guys and like their work ethic. Everybody thinks winning is holding up the fucking trophy. You don't win a Super Bowl in February by, unless in August you're fucking running at 4:00 in the morning, like in the rain, in the fucking dark, doing the shit you don't want to do. And the best at life, they did put the 10,000 hours in it. They did win the championship, and then next day, Kobe Bryant's in the gym the following fucking morning. Like, it's an obsession. Like, and when you like the obsession, when you join this comeback, like you don't become less obsessed. Like, you take the obsession that you had, for a lot of us, for me, with lies, with alcohol, with covering it up, with staying one step ahead of everything. And I took that obsession, that fucking desire to get away with it, right? To outsmart whoever, to put myself in a shitty spot so I could pull myself out of it. I took that obsession, and then I just became obsessed with like greatness, the best father on earth. Like, in my mind, what that looks like, like how great could my life become? Like, and so I just switched the obsession, right? Like I'd switch the obsession from bullshit to fucking greatness. And like the obsession, you know, it looks different, you know, quite obviously, but like I'm still obsessed as fuck. It's just with good shit.
100% all day. I love what you said. Kobe Bryant, the very next day, he's looking at the finals game, saying, "What could I have done better?" Dude, you just won the final. He's looking at the film. Nobody's looking at the film. He's looking at the film, and I think that's what that's a great analogy that I hadn't even thought about. That's what we're doing in meditation and writing. Is we're looking at the film of our life, right? Maybe it's the day before, maybe it's the week before, but we're looking at the film and saying, "Okay, how can I get better?" Okay, I should have pivoted here. Okay, I should have shut the fuck up here. I didn't need to. I don't have to respond. I mean, so much of growth is not having to respond. That's so much of growth is just being able to say, my opinion doesn't matter. Surrender. Just listen. Just listen.
That's a lesson. That's a lesson I take away kind of a lot sometimes is you should have just shut the fuck up, man. Your commentary wasn't needed on this thing. Like, you know, step back, let shit play out a little bit. And like, you know, we all have patterns, we have traits that like exist, you know, pre-comeback, you know, during drinks like an asshole, like post-comeback, like, or not post-comeback, but, you know, as we evolve, like some of our habit patterns are the fucking same. Like, they just are like this, for me, like, the immediate gratitude or instant gratification kind of thing. Like I had that way before. When I drank that way, you know, even now, like I want it and I want it fucking now. But the difference is like, that's control, right? It's like, I understand that shit as it's getting ready to come out of my mouth. Like, dude, the world doesn't fucking work that way. Like, you don't get everything you want like that. There's a process and you got to shut the fuck up and do the work to get, you know, whatever it is that you want in life. And like, but now I know who I am. Like, I'm in touch with like what's going on in here. Like, so I go to fucking do something and I'm like, no, chill out, be cool, let it play out. That's really like, you know, to the, you know, I got work to do, we all do, but like, that's the level that we're at right now. Like, it's not about how to not drink fucking bourbon on a Friday. Like, it's like, how do I know myself even better? Like, how do I catch things before they even become things? Like that's the pursuit of self-mastery like that. It's fucking fun.
Dude, and again, I know I'm repeating myself, but sometimes it's important to repeat it so people hear it over and over. Is when we're doing the work over and over, that compounded interest, that's how we catch ourselves before it happens. Right? And look, this is the truth for anybody listening. You ain't gonna catch everything. None of us are. If you catch everything, that means you're dead and you're in heaven. So don't even about it, right?
Congratulations.
Yeah. But if you're still on earth, if you're still on this plane, you're not gonna catch everything, and that's okay. But that's what happens is we'll look back, and me and you both do. We'll look back, like I just said about the basketball, and I can say, man, a year later I would have handled that differently. Now I appreciate the way I handled it. Now maybe next year I won't even yell at the guy in the first place. So this year I'm happy with the apology. Next year I'll feel it, but I'm like, is this the Trenton that I want to present to the world? Because yelling at him is no different than our daughters or kids getting us to that point and yelling at them, right? And same thing, you know, wife getting us to that point and yelling at them. And so look, purpose and progress over perfection. We will not get to perfection. The goal is to just keep working at it, kind of like golf. Keep working at it and just be the best, the pinnacle Dave and the pinnacle Trenton and the pinnacle person that we can be. Here. Yeah.
The pursuit over the perfection, dude, is great. Just this morning, like literally just this morning. So my wife's birthday's coming up. My wife's birthday's tomorrow. We're getting her. She wants a bike, so the three of us, my wife or my son and daughter and I, went to get her a bike today. And this is like 2 hours ago. And we're in the place. We're getting the bike, and my son did something, said something, whatever the fuck, and I like busted his butt. Like I made a joke about it, whatever. And I could just see in his face, like it was like I crushed him. Like I went too far in his mind. Like to me, it was just like fucking throwaway. I'm a funny guy like you. That's funny, right? It's cute. Let me bust his balls a little bit. And it didn't come out the way I wanted to. You know how that feels when something leaves your mouth and you're like, this is gonna be good. And then it fucking hits and you're like, shit. Like, nope. And you could just see it in his face. The kid just looked so down and defeated. Like I hurt his fucking feelings. Immediately in that moment, like as it's coming out and I see the response, I shut everything off. Fucking, all right, boom, we're in this fucking moment right now, and I gotta solve this thing for this kid. And I stopped everything what we were doing by let Sophie just take the bike and go fuck off with it for a minute. And I sat with this kid and I just talked to him like, dude, like, I gotta fix this in this fucking moment. Like, So this idea of perfection, dude, like, yeah, I mean, my shit just doesn't involve alcohol, but I still fuck up. I still say shit I'm not proud of. Stuff doesn't work, but it's like the game film. Like I rewound that game film like that. But like, step back, what was going on? Like, why did I, what was I trying to do here? Like, was I trying to, why was my intention? It obviously didn't land, but I immediately just fucking corrected it. Like, that's it, point blank, in the moment, correct this shit right now. Dude, me years ago would have been like, toughen up, don't be a fucking pussy. I didn't, I wouldn't have owned it, that's for sure. I would have fucking defended it, and I would have said it wasn't that bad. I would have lied to myself. I would have lied to him, told him to shut the fuck up and take it, whatever. And that's really like the growth pattern, I guess, the path that you're on. It's beautiful, man.
Dave, and I'm going to go a step further because I agree. That story is beautiful. Anybody that may be listening, a parent, understand being vulnerable and saying sorry is one of the best things we can do for our children, because it shows them that we're not perfect. And so then it says you don't have to be perfect. So many people think I have to be perfect in order for my parents to love me, and it creates all these mommy and daddy issues and alcoholics and drug dealers, blah, 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 blah. And so when we, as their heroes, as their top notch, right, as their vision of what an adult looks like, if we can say I'm sorry, it's such a big deal. And I even I say I'm sorry, and then I ask my daughter, I say, will you forgive me? I cannot stress enough, adding that little tag of will you forgive me, giving this 10-year-old power over the 44-year-old. And I love, she's like, okay, yeah, Dad, I love adding that to it. So my point is, what you just shared was beautiful because it helped. Yes, it desensitized the immediate situation, but then it's going to impact him 20 years from now when he's with his wife and he's able to say, I'm sorry, my bad, I shouldn't have said that. That's what that does. Again, impacting families and generations. That's exactly what that does. Because how many of us had parents, and they didn't mean to, that never said, I'm sorry? I don't know if I could ever say he has now, he's a great guy now, but definitely from 0 to 20, I don't think my dad ever was like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I don't think my dad ever said I was wrong,
I don't think I heard a lot of that.
Yeah.
And staying right in that moment with the intentionality. Like, I try to be extremely intentional with my language. And I remember, as I'm thinking and rethinking about the game from this morning, I would have said something like, I'm sorry if that bothered you. Like, I would have put it on him that he's choosing to be bothered by me saying asshole things. And I like, that just makes a kid feel like shit. I put him in a spot of like, it's your fault that you're pissed off that I'm an asshole, basically. And instead of that, like, it was like, dude, like, this is like, I apologize for what I said. I did not mean to hurt your feelings. Like, I fucked that up. Like this is not your fault. And like, I was just a lot more cavalier with my language with people that mattered to me. Everything was to be dismissed. Let's move on from it. It's your fault that your feelings are hurt by the words that came out of my mouth. It's your fucking fault. You're choosing. Yeah, exactly. You're choosing to be upset by this. I had nothing to do with it. You're choosing to fucking take this the wrong way. So, I mean, what the fuck then I can do about it? Like, the intentionality with the time, but with the language too. It's like, that level.
Oh man, I could not agree more. Couldn't. I said it when we first started. We could talk intention all day long. It's so important to, again, what drinking robs us from is being intentional with our life, right? That's what it does. And so now when we take that away, we get to be intentional with every single interaction, every single one. It's so important, so valuable.
So with your life, with your day to day, what's next for you? Like, inside of the, you talked about the comedy, like, you texted, I don't know if you share whatever you want to do, share whatever you want to share. What's the next evolution of you, brother? Like, what are you working on? What do you spend your time on? And when you think of like your life goals, like, what does that look like?
Yeah. That's great. And so for the people that don't know, when our process is, we're looking at writing our journal every day. But part of our journal that I got from IAMACOMEBACK, got from you, got from Mark, got from Rich, is write your goals every day. So I was always writing my goals, but my goals were something once a year. Once a year, I write them, put them on. And look, I'd say 80% of people aren't even doing once a year. But then you guys said, no, fucking write it every day. Now we're like, oh shit. And so. Look, I've been doing comedy for 15 years. I love doing comedy. If anybody ever, I love comedy. Comedy has saved my life several times, taken me places I never thought I'd go, et cetera, et cetera. That being said, when you get out of drinking and you start looking at yourself and you start asking the question, what is the mark I want to leave on the earth? What is the legacy I want to leave? The next question is I'm reading this book called Gene Keys, where he says, what is the level of service you want to offer the world? What type of service? And the truth is, I want to be a teacher and be inspirational. And I remember going to high school when we had a motivational speaker, and he changed my life. His name was Ralph Mitchell. He changed my life. But that was in high school. And now I think about it, I said, man, yeah, high school kids need it for sure. But you know who needs motivational speaking? People between 25 and 55. That's the people that are having day job, got kids, they're drinking every day, and they're, I forget who said it, but he said the masses of men lead lives of quiet desperation. And that is so true. When you asked me at the very beginning of the call, what was your life like when you were drinking? Quiet desperation. Nobody knew I was suffering, but it was quiet desperation. I needed more. Life is not supposed to be fucking mediocre for any of us. But there is no motivational speaker for people 25 to 55, right? There's no motivational speaker. Once you're an adult, people just say, just grow up. Fucking life is hard. They just, nothing. And I'm like, man, fuck that. And so I've had 15 years of speaking in front of people. I've had 15 years of cursing and laughing and talking about dick and pussy. And now what I'd like to do is pivot. I'm gonna still do comedy, but I want to pivot and spend the next 15 years motivating people to be their best self in whatever capacity I can. And so you and Mark, write down your goals. So my goal is I want to positively impact 100 million people. And I'm going to do that through motivational speaking. My goal every day, I can pull out my journal and show you, every day I write, I want to be the funniest, most effective, highest paid motivational speaker on earth. That's my goal. And right after that, I say I want to vibrate at the intersection of leadership, diversity, technology, experience, because I want to live this fucking experience, and purpose. That's where I want to intersect. I can talk about those all day long, and I want to impact 100 million people. So that's where I'm going. So when you and I talk, hopefully you'll have me back a year from now, right? We'll come back, and a year from now, I'm like, hey, man, I've now done 20 speaking engagements. I'm now doing this, and it's impacting this side of the world. And this is what I'm doing. Like right now, I average, let's say 100 shows a year. I'd love to, maybe not a year from now, but maybe 2 years from now, saying, now I'm doing 100 speaking engagements a year. That's winning, because now I'm impacting people and I'm being intentional. I'm being intentional with my words and how I impact the world.
Well, go back to the first thing we talked about in terms of changing the world, brother. You're doing it every day. Like, it's everybody who can watch this or will watch this. Like, it's the power of every interaction, dude. Like inside of the group, in the comments, like, a guy will put something out there, or they're early on, they're like, oh, I don't feel like I should put a post out or anything. Like, I'm on day 3, I have nothing to teach. Like, dude, your fucking life is the lesson. Like, it just is. Like, anybody that's watching somebody else, like, it's there to learn some shit, right? Like, dude, what you said about the purpose the other day on that call, I was like, holy shit, like, that's awesome. In my mind, my purpose, like, was to do this. My purpose is to fucking help people. My vehicle to do that is this. Like, I learned something from you on that call. And, like, I take that back and, like, what's next for me? And I always ask that question. But I have no fucking doubt at all that you're not going to do exactly what you said you were going to do. What would you tell somebody who is, like, where I was, where you were, looking at the ads, like, fuck, man, this dude sounds awesome, but I don't know. Like, what would you say to that guy?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think everybody will say, well, just do it. What I would say to that person is, if you don't, what is the rest of your life going to look like? If you don't change one thing, if you continue to drink, put me in, you continue to drink six beers a day, and then on the weekends, that's 12 beers a day, because now I got all day to do it. If you continue to do that for the rest of your life, what is your life going to look like? What are you going to look like as a father? What are you going to look like as a spouse? What are you going to look like as a employee? Whatever you are, work manager, what is that going to look like? I think it's so important, because we get caught up in this day-to-day. Oh, I'm only drinking today. Yeah, okay. Again, compound interest. Now multiply this times 20 years. Right? So that's what I would say is you stay on this path, you know where it leads. If you stay on it, is that where you want to go? right? And I didn't. You didn't. I didn't. All the thousands of comebackers didn't want to go where that fucking path was leading. And clicking on that button, clicking on that link says, oh, I'm ready to make a left turn. I'm ready to make a right turn. That's what it is.
That's Trenton. That's beautiful, man. I just want to say one last time, dude, you are one of like the coolest, like most fucking deep, like, dude, I fucking love you, brother. Like, you're cool as fuck. I'd love to play basketball with you sometime. You're the kind of dude that we'd hang out, we'd have a fucking amazing time. We wouldn't need to get fucked up to do it. We'd bust balls, it'd be real cool, and it'd probably be like fucking pretty emotional and inspirational and all kinds of dope shit. But dude, I absolutely believe you're gonna do exactly what you said you're gonna do, man. I really can see it like in you. From the first second that I talked to you, like you're absolutely the real fucking deal. You are so fucking legit. And I'm proud to know you, dude. I'm proud to have you in my fucking phone.
Hey man, I just thank you 1,000%. Like I said, you guys saved my life, no doubt. Changed my daughter's life, changed my life, changed my entire trajectory of my life. What you've done has impacted me, and so your life matters personally for me. All the support, man, I cannot thank you enough. And I'm going to say the exact same thing back to you. I want to hang out with you. Like we said, it's iron sharpens iron. I know we're going to bust balls. I know we're going to have fun. I know we'll have deep conversations in there. We'll grow. Every time I'm on, I learn, right? I may be dropping jewels, but I'm learning too, 100%. And so thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I don't take this lightly. And I look forward to connecting with you in any way we can in the future.
Love it, man. I'm excited for where you are, dude, but I cannot fucking wait to see where you're going, brother. I appreciate
you.
I appreciate it. You too, man.
Thank
you, brother. Talk to you soon, man. Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Hey, tell your wife, happy birthday, brother.
I will, dude. Thanks, brother, man.
I am a comeback. If you're not dead, then you're not done. I ain't dead, so I'm here to show everyone. I am a comeback. It's not a disease, it's a choice. So I had to choose. I refuse to lose. I am a comeback.